get started in just about a minute or so with our Let's Talk Live with my girl Nikki. This is our first LRI Infinity Let's Talk live stream. I'm going to be doing 4 over the next 2 weeks, and like I said, we're going to start with Nikki in just a little while. Wait for some more people that said that they were going to hop on. Hello to everybody that's already here. Nikki's basically going to tell us about her life in a snapshot, what we can do as regular consumers of whatever she is, it's her profession, on how to better communicate with her and people in her profession. And we're going to kick it and kiki a little bit because I haven't talked to my girl in a while. And I've known her since I was in 7th grade. So, yeah. So is it 7? Okay, it's 7. Let's see. There's a way to connect. So I see Nikki watching. I think she can request me in. Oh, I can go here. Okay, here we go. And I think I've requested her. Hi, Mom. All right. So this is LRI Infinity Let's Talk Live podcast.
Hey y'all, my name is Nikki. I am 35 years old and my zodiac sign is a Leo. Today I'm going to be talking with my girl Legina about my life and my profession, a little bit about my past, present, maybe my future. My profession, I am an FSS coordinator, which is Family Self-Sufficiency Coordinator at the Housing Authority of San Angelo, Texas. And you are Infinity Let's Talk podcast live stream, y'all.
Yeah, you did it. You're a pro. So good to see you. Oh, before we get started, let me give a quick warning. This is an adult podcast. There will be cussing because I am my father's daughter and I do cuss. And there's adult content. So just so you know, putting it out there before we get started, because we talk about everything from sex, money, drugs, professions, anything unapologetically and all the time. So once again, thank you for tuning in. Nikki, thank you so much for being on the show. I know your medical situation is serious, and we'll talk about that in a little while. You don't have corona, but we'll talk about that in a little while. So I wanted to start with something super random because I know we're going to be talking a lot about you and everything, but I was looking in the news and I know this is something you'd appreciate. I did one that you'd appreciate and one that you would be like, what the fuck? So first, the Professional Baseball League right now, they're considering starting games and playing as early as May. So that's nuts. And they're thinking about doing it based out of like Arizona. And yeah, they're thinking about basing it out of Arizona and having all the like players quarantine in different hotels. So that would be interesting. So
that would be interesting. I have not heard of that.
Yeah. So I figured that's the one that you may not care too much about. The other one is I found out that like there's what is it? It's a jellyfish that is basically immortal. Yeah.
Girl, that's crazy.
So, yeah, those are my 2 random facts. I encourage people to look them up just because they're there and it's good knowledge. We're all getting bogged down right now being at home. And so, like, why not make yourself smarter with something or whatever? So, last night... So last night when we did the prep for this podcast, hey, JT, I definitely told you that we're going to play a game. So, fair warning. We're going to we're going to do the 45-second game. And basically this game is where you give us your whole life, everything you can think of in 45 seconds. And the reason why I want to play this game on the live is because in the actual like podcast, like the whole thing is about all the transitions and journeys in their lives. But this like 30-minute little fun podcast is just like, boom, let's hear about her. Let's talk about her profession. Let's talk about some things in her life because it's really important that people understand that like we all relate in some type of way. So let's fucking get started. Let's see if I can do this. Alexa. Oh, wait, are you ready? Because when she says go, we're going to do it, right?
I am ready. Girl, I'm ready.
Okay. Alexa, set a timer for 45 seconds.
45 seconds, starting now.
Go.
Okay, like I said, my name is Nikki. My whole name is Alisha Nicole Kuhn. Don't laugh. Last name's K-H-N. I was born July 30th, 1984. Like I said, I am a Leo. I'm a military brat. My dad was in the Army for 24 years. So we moved around a lot. East Chicago, then Kentucky, Kentucky to Virginia, Virginia, Arizona, Arizona to Alaska, then Alaska to Texas, where I met my girl, Legina. And I got pregnant young. I got pregnant at the age of 18 years old. I did finish school, high school. I didn't do any college, but I did get married to Jordan's father.
We are out of time. That's it. She was trying to give it all to us, y'all. Alexa off. She's trying to give it all to us. Okay, so let me see. I'm going to pick up some of it. So let's see. You were 18. Oh, yeah, because you're older than me by like a year, almost to the day, almost a year to the day. So let's see. She was 18 when she got pregnant. Jordan is my first godchild out of 6. And Jordan's about to graduate next year, and you're newly married. I think you're a year and a half almost, right? Something like that.
About a year and a half. Yep, because September was a year. You got it.
Yep. You got married. My brother got married the same month you did. What else? Another fact. Go. Oh, you're my best friend from the age of...
Oh my gosh, girl, we were 14 or 15.
It was seventh grade. And yeah. And we met in front of John Glenn Junior High, sitting on front of a rock because me, you, and RJ were the only 3 black kids at the school, pretty much. And our parents were picking us up late. So that's how that shit happened. And we've remained on and off super close. And, you know, and I would say Alisha knows the fiber of me as a human. So there you go. So I want to talk more. You said what?
You are the best.
I try. Okay, so I want to talk more about your profession. So, like, what exactly does that mean? Because I know you work for the Public Housing Authority, but what does your profession entail?
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty biased about my job. I love it. Not just trying to talk it up to something that it's not. It really is amazing. It's FSS. The program is FSS, which is Family Self-Sufficiency Program. That particular program, you do have to be on the Section 8 and public housing programs. Once you qualify for those programs and you're on it, you can actually qualify for family self-sufficiency. And what we do, it's a 5-year program with you being on Section 8 or our public housing. You can qualify for this program, and we help you obtain self-sufficiency, whatever that may be to that person. It's not a cookie-cutter program. It's a program that's basically defined for the individual that wants to be on the program. So if self-sufficiency to me means I'm riding the bus and I want to get my own car and I want to be able to maintain employment, that's self-sufficiency to me. So we work with people on 5 years to try to help them out with that. And one of the main perks to the program is once you get on the program, as your rent increases, we save a certain amount of money on the side for you to help you be able to achieve self-sufficiency. We've had one woman, she was on the program. She didn't have a job, and one of her main goals was to have retain employment, and she wanted to do nursing. So she got into nursing. Her rent went from, it was $0 her portion. It went from $0 to about $200 because of her employment. So what we did is we matched that $200 and put it in a savings account for her every single month. This lady did this for 5 years, and she kept getting her employment, her income kept getting higher and higher. So she was paying more, and we were matching it. She ended up graduating the program with $20,000.
And yeah, I was trying to do the math while you were doing it, because it's like, and so basically in a year she got about $1,100 saved in an account. And so over the course of the program, it was even more. Okay.
Yeah, her going up, and we keep matching it. So if you wanted to take, like, say there's a guy, Jane Doe has 0 portion of rent, and then as she gets more income, her rent portion goes up. So a lot of people get it misconstrued with housing, thinking that we just pay everybody's rent. It's all based upon income. So if I have a higher income, or if Legina has a higher income than me, her rent portion she's going to be paying more.
Okay. So I heard, like, so I was noticing when you said, like, it's all based off of income, like, you had some, like, conviction with that. Is that because you feel like people assume that y'all just, like, hand out checks to people every month? Because, like, no shade, but you were like, you put a little bit into it, so.
Yeah, girl, you already know. It is because, I mean, if you think about it, we've all been somewhere where we need some type of help. And I do think sometimes, housing gets a real negative connotation, and it really shouldn't. It really shouldn't. Everyone needs help, and I think we forget that all in all, we need each other, whether that's housing, whether it's food stamps, whether it's Medicaid, those kinds of things. That, I mean, they're implemented for a reason. And I'm not saying people don't take advantage of it, but there are programs like the FSS program that do want to help people become self-sufficiency to where it's not a scary thing, it's a rewarding thing.
Right. So you know what? A crazy thing is, like, when you said food stamps, it takes me back to undergrad. So I don't even know if you know this. So when I was in college and undergrad, when I moved away from San Angelo and I moved to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and I was there for 5 years, like, the kids there at Stillman College were fucking smart. Like, they were just sharp. A lot of them, like, had experience from the world, not just, like, book smarts, and they just happened to all be at higher ed institution together. So, like, you had hustle going. And one of the kids was like, they were talking about food stamps, and I was like, oh, well, I don't get food stamp. I wouldn't qualify. And they're like, what do you mean? You got a job? And I'm like, I mean, no. You can apply for food stamps. You don't have an income. You are living off of somebody else, and you are on a scholarship. And I was like, shit. Like, so I had food stamps. And okay, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna tell a story. So I used to go to Walmart because I don't know if Alabama has an HEB now, but Alabama had no HEB. And I remember calling my parents one time and being like, they have no fresh fruit here, and people wear tennis shoes. I'm going to need money for tennis shoes because all I had was flip-flops. You remember all the Old Navy flip-flops? I had every color. And so, like, I go in there or whatever, but when I had my food stamps, I used to buy frozen fruit, and I used to make hunch punch, which is like a big old, like, tub of alcohol with fruit in it. And, like, we used to party out that all the time. I'm not gonna even lie. But so that's what I spent some of my food stamp money on. But I did feel like they allocated me a little bit too much for me being one person for a month. They gave me like $265. So they were generous, but I mean, I ate all the food, and I mean, I kept myself fed, so whatever. So, okay, so y'all do food stamps or anything else and all that. You've given me a success story. Like, Old Navy was the bomb back in the day, really was. Yeah, Johnny, my brother Johnny worked there too, so I remember. When you're talking about your job and everything, I know, like, if you went through a day-to-day workday, like, what are some of the most difficult things that you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis?
I would say the difficult things would be some of the participants being scared to report things that their landlords do. Or that their landlords don't do. I think sometimes when people are, when they're under a certain poverty level, it's a stigma, and it's a stigma that even gets in our heads as women, where we feel like maybe we shouldn't do that because we're below this level. If that makes sense. I feel like, I feel bad when they come in and they're like, hey, I just wanted to let you know, my pipe busted, and my landlord, I told him about it, and it's been months that they haven't came fixed it.
Oh, wow.
Unacceptable. And they were like, well, I don't want to get in trouble. That's the first thing I usually hear from participants. I don't want to get in trouble because I want to live in safe and sanitary housing. And that's one of the main things that housing states. We have to offer safe and sanitary housing. We do inspections on top of the inspections that the landlord is supposed to do. So if they don't have proper things that are working, it makes me feel bad that sometimes they'll go under the radar or not say much about it because they don't want to get in trouble. I'm like, you're a person. So you need to be able to have working water and things of that nature. And sometimes people who live below a certain poverty level, they're nervous about it because they don't want it. They're thinking about losing their housing, or they're thinking about people, retaliating against them. And we won't let the landlords do that. But in fear of that, that's sometimes the toughest thing. One of the toughest things that I feel like I have to experience with public housing and the participants is them feeling like they don't really have a voice. And that's where caseworkers need to advocate for their participants and let them know, hey, you're worth that. And if we need to talk to your landlord about it, we certainly will.
Okay, so that's some fucked up shit though, for real. But I do feel like I could see that being like a valid thing, because like when you get something, for a cheaper price or for free with the government assistance or whatever it may be, that I think that fucks with your psyche a little bit and it messes with you in some type of way. But I think that people should realize that when you go to the 1% and 2%, instead of getting government handouts, they're getting tax breaks because of, little loopholes that they know and all kinds of stuff. So I feel like everybody has their way that they get help by the government. Random fact, these stimulus checks that are coming, Donald Trump wants every last one signed by his signature. I just had to throw that out there because I learned that last night, baby. And I was like, okay, this man is campaigning. It's fine. No big deal. So I just had to put that out there. But yeah, so, I remember when I was in Austin, I was on a really cool program where I got reduced rent and I could live in a really nice, housing, apartment complex. And I remember every now and then, I'd want to get something fixed, or I had to call over and over again because I had a leak for 4 or 5 years, and they kept being like, oh, we're going to fix it, or we're trying to fix it, or we can't find the problem. And every now and then I'd be like, oh, my lease is about to renew. I don't want to rock the boat, and then find me a reason to get out of it and everything, or push me out, because I was living nice. And I was like, oh, I can handle the water leaking in when it rains really bad or something. So it was definitely hella annoying. So go ahead.
Oh no, I was agreeing with you. Yeah, that's annoying.
So question, if I'm you, if I'm me, because I'm obviously me, and I'm walking in to the housing authority, is it the Public Housing Authority? What's the right name?
Yeah, it's the Public Housing Authority of San Angelo. Mm-hmm.
And you are direct contact with people, so you're a caseworker?
Mm-hmm. Yes. I would be. I'd be a caseworker, not necessarily direct contact, because you'd have to be on you have to be on Section 8 or a low rent, which those are two separate programs. A lot of people do get them confused. Section 8 is where you get a voucher and you're able to live anywhere in the jurisdiction that you're from, as long as that landlord accepts that public housing voucher. Now, for public housing, which is also low rent, I know this is kind of confusing.
No, I'm
low rent is where the housing authority itself would be considered your landlord, and you would live in one of our homes.
Got it.
So that's the difference between the two. Okay, cool. So if you're in one of those programs, then if you're interested, you can be on FSS. FSS is a voluntary program. It's like an umbrella under those two programs.
Okay, so if cool. So if I'm on low rent and I walk in and I want to do the voluntary FSS, and you are you're my case manager, what are some things? This is what I call help us, help you, help us. If I'm just somebody that needs this low rent and I'm going to volunteer for FSS, what kind of things do I need to say? What attitude do I need to come in with? What's my mindset? What shouldn't I feel guilty about? Give me some shit.
Okay, all right. Okay, so
hold on. We have somebody that's asking a good question. Let me write it down and so that I don't forget. But go ahead and answer. Sorry.
Oh, okay, yes, ma'am. Well, okay. So it's no. Oh my gosh, I said to have it. Sorry. Okay, so say if you do come in and you're already on low rent program, let's just say you're on that and you're like, hey, I heard about this FSS program. Or you could even talk to your caseworker that's in low rent, and you maybe even tell them, hey, I'm looking for, I need a job. I want to be more serious about a job or my profession, or I'm really interested in pursuing more goals. They would refer you to me or the other FSS coordinator. I don't know if she's here, but shout out to Paris.
Hey.
It's just us two, and so they would send you to either her or I based upon your last name. She does A through L last name. I do M through Z. So you would come into us, and then we would do what's called an FSS, Family Self-Sufficiency Questionnaire. And at that point, we would see what your goals are. There's really no qualifications, Legina, as far as being on FSS. It's just being on those two programs, either Section 8 or low rent. And you couldn't have been on it prior. You know what I mean? You couldn't have been on the FSS prior. But those are really the only two qualifications, well, three qualifications. And then we would kind of meet you where you're at. So it's not necessarily anything you would need to say or do. We would try to meet you where you're at and see what kind of goals would help Legina specifically. So we wouldn't put you in this category. This is where Legina fits in category A. It would be a plan for just Legina.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. You told me, so you've already gone over what your job entails, a success story, and some of the harder things in your job that you see. So before we move away from this subject, we do have somebody that's asked a question. They want to know, can they apply for both? And I think maybe okay, so you know what they're talking about?
Mm-hmm. And if I'm not mistaken, if they're asking if they can apply for both Section 8 and low rent, absolutely. Section 8 is usually a little bit of a longer list because a lot of people like to have that freedom to be able to live wherever they want to live. You know what I'm saying? And with low rent, we're not saying you would have to live in this area. It's just we have duplexes in only certain areas. But if you go the application online, www.santangelopha.com. You can definitely go on there and apply for both of the programs. We usually recommend it for the Housing Authority of San Angelo specifically. It's about 12 to 15 month wait. And for low rent, it's about maybe a 6 to 12 month wait. I'm sorry about that. So it really just depends on which program, but I would definitely go for both. And whenever your name comes up, we'll just pull you.
Oh, shit. That's good. So you can double down. Okay. San Angelo, I see San Angelo. They are doing stuff. I remember when we were kids and we had first moved there, we were devastated. I remember we had our moments where we'd be like, this is the stupidest place in the world. Da 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 da. Why are we here? And I think both of our parents had ended up landing there at the same time, same month. It was devastating, but it's fine. Now it's a safe haven, and it's amazing. Okay, so thanks for talking about your profession. So let's talk about this medical thing that you have going on right now.
This is serious stuff, y'all. I am with child.
Yes. You are with child.
17 years apart, girl.
How many years?
17.
So Jordan's 17, and you're about to have a child in May. So I remember when we were younger, after we got over the initial shock that, oh shit, you're pregnant. I remember that because you didn't tell me for a while. And you were hiding it. You were hiding it. And I remember you got a spanking while you were pregnant. I remember that.
My mama whooped my ass. Yeah, because I told her I didn't want to do dishes. She sat there drinking chocolate milk. After she whooped me, watch me wash the dishes and give them damn dishes then. I was like, oh, Lord.
I remember because I was sitting in the living room and I was like, this is not going to, oh yeah, it happened. And I remember, but you had a funky ass attitude. You did. That last month, I was like, I don't like this bitch. I said, I'm going to come over here because she's my friend and she's pregnant or whatever. And fun fact, you're 5 5 foot flat, right?
Oh, girl, I'm 4'11". Don't tell nobody. I've been this height since 5th grade.
Okay, yeah, okay. Because I remember when you had Jordan with the Y. This is her Instagram. No, you cannot follow her. It is private. But I remember that Jordan came out like 10 pounds.
Yeah, she was 8. She was 8 pounds 1 ounce.
Mm-hmm. Okay, she was 8 pounds and 1 ounce, and you were 96 pounds, right?
Yes, girl. Mm-hmm.
Yep, you were 96 pounds, soaking wet. I remember. So 17 years apart with your child. Are you sheltered in right now?
Yes, I am. They have me working from home, which is great.
Okay.
I mean, not really, but it's great. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people like pedal around the subject, but like me and one of my friends, Aaron, like we're both out of work because we're bartenders for our like steady income, and both of us are like, I mean, if you had to look at the good, we have definitely like taken this as, you know how like every now and then you wish you're like, oh, I wish like shit would just stop for a second so I could breathe and catch up. So I'm taking it like that, and obviously that's why I'm doing this podcast and stuff, and there's a lot going on, and it's super serious and frustrating and overwhelming and sad for people and us just as a society and a country and a world, but what we're doing in our houses can be a positive thing, and what we're learning about ourselves and all that stuff can be very positive. So when you're thinking about that, what are some things that you're doing for self-care at home right now that you've noticed have been beneficial to you?
I would probably say I eat a lot, but and I'm not a big dog person, but I have 2 dogs. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I question myself daily about why I got these 2 damn fucking dogs, girl. I can't stand these dogs, okay? But taking them for a walk has been actually really, it has really helped, honestly. And doing a meditation in the morning with the Lord, that has really helped too. The time I never really made time for, making time for God, and also making time for these ugly ass dogs that I hate so much. It's been beneficial. It's been really helpful as far as keeping my mind right. But I realized how much time you make time for things that you need to that you want to make time for. Yeah, I'm sure everyone has heard that before, but this has really helped me realize how much I need to make more time for my spirituality, my time with God. Honestly, I need to make time for that because I feel different whenever I spend time with just him and I. To be quite honest.
Yeah, so I've been really doing a lot of like yoga and meditating. Like I literally just like, my mat is probably like 1.5 feet from me. Like I can step onto my yoga mat right now. And I have this desk that rolls around my art studio, and I use that. And I just really like have been doing yoga and meditation even before bed. The shit is crazy. And I'm already like a black hippie chick. I had locks for like 14 years, and I just finished combing out all my hair finally. So
I was shocked. I'm glad you sent me a picture. I was like, ooh, look at that.
So yeah, like, so I've been doing that, but like, I still, like, I wouldn't say struggle, but meditation, like, I realize it's important, and I usually can do right at the end of yoga because I'm fucking tired, and I'm just like, my favorite position literally is down dog. It's like in this upward V shape like this. And where your feet are here, your hands are here. That one, and then the last one is the final rest where you just get to fucking lay there. And like, I'm always so tired at the end. I'm always just like, I just go like this and I lay down, and I can meditate until I catch my breath. Then I'm over it, and everything's done. So what are some like tips and tricks to meditating that will fucking like help? Because right now, like, my meditation is like this. I go like this. Okay. Like, it's that short. Like, I'm like, I can't.
Girl, you are making me laugh. I'm not gonna lie, I'm no meditation expert, but my mom told me about this app called Abide, and so I've been using this app. It's about $34 a year. So I was like, I'll go ahead and try it. girl, it is amazing. You get to choose different topics on whatever you might be experiencing that day, or maybe just do a daily one. And there's someone who speaks. It's usually it's a different voice, man, woman, just different voice. Every day. And girl, you can pick your background. It can either be light violin or maybe the rain. I usually choose rain or waves. And girl, I'm telling you, they just basically talk about whatever you're going, whatever topic you choose, anxiety, depression, insecurities. I mean, just things of that nature. It could be anything, you know, maybe a better relationship with God if that's what you're seeking. I mean, just an array of topics for you to be able to talk, or someone talks about in the background, and it's just silent, and they'll say a few things. And girl, I'm not gonna lie, it's so helpful. I really like it. It's called Abide.
Okay, I'll look into it. I'll have you text it to me later. So we need to wrap up soon. So I have 2 more questions for you, and then we can do your little outro, because I know you were over there practicing. But what's been your favorite food in the last, during your pregnancy? Like, what have you been like? Are you having random cravings or anything like that?
Oh my gosh. Not really. I just be eating. Oh my gosh. I just eat.
Okay. And then, oh my gosh. Okay, and then my last question, obviously, because a lot of people that listen to the Lorraine Finney Let's Talk podcast, like the full version, always have random questions. Like, I'll be talking to somebody on the phone and they randomly ask a question about the podcast, and they're like, so did so-and-so ever blah, blah, blah. So I know you listen to the podcast, which thank you for doing so, and anybody else that's on this live stream, thank you for watching this and for listening to the podcast. But do you have a favorite guest that's been on? There's been 6 of them, and do you have any question for them that you want me to kind of follow up with?
Yes. Okay, so I really like all of them, but I really like Destiny, and I really like Nanez. I had a question for Nanez, because she had during her podcast with you, she had said something about how she doesn't really believe in marriage because of not only because of her past, but her beliefs as to come now. I was wondering if that has changed for her, because she just seemed like the way she had expressed it, and I'm don't quote me on this. I don't know exactly what she had said, but she had said something along the lines of, it's not natural. You know what I mean? Like, marriage isn't a natural thing, like monogamy, something like that. And I thought it was interesting. Not that I disagreed or agreed with her, you know what I mean? But I just was really interested if she feels differently about that. I was curious about it.
Okay, I'm definitely going to ask her. It'll give me an excuse to call her. And I'll definitely follow up with it on Thursday, because we will be talking to Brittany. She is a homegirl I met here through our mutual mentor. And she's been amazing. She's an amazing friend. She's a great troubleshooter to me. And she works in real estate, and she's just like a go-getter. So I'll make sure I try to get a hold of Nana's before then and see how she feels about marriage. I have a feeling that her thoughts and opinions haven't changed about it. And for me, I think that marriage is a choice, and monogamy is a choice that people make, and marriage is a commitment and a contract. And I don't think that everybody is willing or capable to keep those 2 things together. And I think that it's one of the biggest challenges and feats of strength that I think anybody could actually do. And so it's not an easy written book or anything like that. So those are my opinions, but let's follow Naz and see what she has to say. Like I said, our next live stream will be Thursday at 6:30 with Brittany, and I hope that you tune in and everybody else live streams. Thank you so much for like sharing everything. And maybe we can get you in for like the full podcast because it gets super intimate. We can talk about like the time you almost died after you had Jordan because of the medical people that like sucked, and what were you doing that time when I was not there, and the time that you lived with me in Alabama and all that kind of great stuff. So once again, and I love you, and thank you everybody for tuning in. Please like, follow, share, all that great stuff. Listen to some of the podcasts. As we do these live streams, if you have follow-up questions for Nikki or from the people that have been on my past podcast, Christina, Nana's, Destiny, Sam, Ann, and Jay, I'd love for you to put them in the comment boxes, and I'll get them answered for you. I'm homegirls with all of them still, and I consider it a great honor to be able to help people share their stories. So when you're ready, Nikki, shut down this show, baby.
Oh my gosh, Regina, I'm not even gonna lie. I suck so bad. I didn't have the outro.
You didn't? You what?
I didn't come in the outro. I suck so bad, y'all. Oh my gosh. I was so excited about the intro. I was like, yeah, I did not even do the outro.
Okay, so this is the funny thing. I know you so good. When I was prepping my computer, I was like, she's going to forget. So I'm going to do Nikki's outro for her because this is how the world works. So I think I can do this. I've never done it, and I think it's funny that I ask people to do this. Okay, so thank you once again. And all right, y'all, her name is Nikki. Is her nickname. Her last name, yes, is Kuhn. She is 35 years old. And let's see, we hope that you understand more about the housing authority and the no shame, no game. If you need it, go get it. Ask people for what you need. And the advice that she has given in our childhood stories that we have told. And you have heard some of her story as she lives her truth and stands in her moment on the LRI Infinity Let's Talk podcast live stream.